What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting
This is Warrior.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
The time has come for lions to tell our own story. Yes, you're listening to Lion's Voice. I is Dejazmatch hailing from the island of St. Croix. Yeah, I'm bringing to you Rastafari vibes. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Babylon born when Rasta come together. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Because Babylon done when I and I come together. Look how we live together, Look how we work together, Whoa. Babylon done when Rasta come together. Haile, Rastafari, His Majesty and Empress men in bless. Yeah man, hailing from St. Croix, Rastafari, I hear you. Aye.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Rastafari.
Alright, listen to me now, people. The lion roar, no dog bark. See? The lion's voice with Kwasi Bonsu. Time right now for the lion to tell his story. See? Listen up.
Haile.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it, I jolly for say that.
Greetings, this is Haile. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right here, sir. Haile said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right here, sir.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
Alright, so continuing on with family, we're going to talk about the drums right now. The bass drum is the foundation. It gives off that frequency. It encompasses and surrounds and keeps the idea within a one place. It's always on the one. One sound, one mute. Alright, very important.
The more aware you are of yourself, the more you come to know yourself, the more mindful you are, okay, is the more skilled you become at using this powerful engine, which is your mind.
And then the resolution is like just finishing up the lessons now and just saying yes and reminding people of the theme of your story. So, you know, the theme of this story was the importance of agriculture.
For the motherland, cradle of civilization, for the ancestors and their indomitable spirit, for the elders whom we can learn much, for the youth who represent our promise for tomorrow, for the people, the original people, for the struggle and remembrance of those who struggled on our behalf, for Umoja, the principle of unity that guides us in all we do, for the Creator who created all of the things great and small. We give thanks.
Let's go through the principles. The first one, blessed love and greetings. Welcome to day 5, our last day of camp. That's sad, right? Too short. Just when I started to have fun, it's over. But it's been fun, and we'll do this again next year, most definitely. Looking forward to seeing you all again, and stay connected after camp.
Government is trapping the system.
Jano, I'm so hungry, bro. I haven't eaten all day. Like, my head started to hurt me too. Like, what more could I eat right now?
What about a city samosa? Get your samosa, a fusion of Indian, Jamaican, and African culture. City samosas, the best samosas in the city.
Tell them bowledge, the far eye, tell them bow. Haile, Selassie, I when me tell them bowledge, the far eye, tell them bow. Haile, Selassie, I when me tell them bowledge, the far eye, tell them bow. Haile, Selassie, I when me tell them bowledge, the far eye, tell them bow. Haile, Selassie, I. The 23rd of July, born in a province named Hazar. I burn them God from sky, cause I know the prophecy is true. Cause unto us the son was born 1892. He built the OAU, come break all chains. Tell them to far I was his name the same. Man that crowned as the ras, it didn't come fast. Went from village to Dejazmatch, who governed in Harar from the age of 13. This is you blessed with Iris, supreme first king. You're the throne with them queen. Hear the trumpet sound, gather round, tell the youths them come in village. The far I, tell them bow, I, the Selassie, I, let me tell them bowledge. The far I, tell them bow, I, the Selassie, I, tell them so. Fight so many wars, just to centralize the tribes. No 9 to 5 remains. Came when the king arrived, cause out of the womb of Yashima bet he survived, born wise. Plus he focused on his plan, no joke. Armies await his command. They say a child shall lead the way. When them see how the warriors surround, that's when the people then say, this child destined for the throne. When them see how we govern in Harar, that's when they all bow down. The government on his shoulders, Mussolini coming with his plan. He's preparing his soldiers, but his plan has to fail. Weep not, the Lion of Judah prevail. Hailage, the far I, tell him bow. I, the Selassie, I, when me tell him bowledge. The far I, tell him bow. I, the Selassie, I, when me tell him bowledge. The far I, tell him bow. I, the Selassie, I. Well, trained in the ancient tongues, plus he carried the blood.
Well, front to us a son was born and a child was given.
I want to ask you a question. Have you gotten your book? Haile Selassie's Ethiopia Volume 1, The Rise of the Priest Warrior King. I've read the book in its entirety, and I must say it's very inspirational, very informative, and very historical, right?
Them call him Listopherai when he was born, rainfall from sky. Them call him Listopherai when he was grown in airplanes he fly. They call him Listopherai, the lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Listopherai, read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then born near the city of Harar, the inspiration for Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bonsu, aka the DejazmatchKwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Voice Live. Welcome to Lion Voice Live, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Today episode, we are talking about why we have declared August Pan-African History Month. We're coming out of Lij Tafari month. I know we have to change our intro. We're having some technical challenges. But this month we are declaring Pan-African History Month, and we wanted to just discuss what's coming forward for this month and why we are kind of branding all of the months, different months. It helps with our programming, and it also we like the theme because then we can, build on certain topics. We can go deeper, look for guests that speak to it. So this month, I want to have not just Rastafari voices, but just Pan African voices on the platform. Um, we know August is also Marcus Garvey, Earthstrong, Emperor Menelik II, Earthstrong, Empress Taitu, Earthstrong, Crown Prince Zariakob, Earthstrong. You know what I mean? So we have so many ones that have their Earthstrong that made major marks in history. So I thought it's a good time that we talk about Pan African history. We're gonna go into Marcus Garvey this month. We're gonna go into some different things. We have the whole fullness with what's happening in the Sahel. We're gonna try to get someone to speak to that. So um, stay tuned this month for a serious month. And why Pan African History Month on the Lion Voice Network? I said when I started this platform, and I've been very clear, we want to reestablish the connection, the unbreakable connection between Rastafari and the Pan African movement. Because over the years, that part of the Rastafari has been minimized in favor of a more kind of non threatening one love messaging. And while Rastafari is one love, there's no doubt. And while Rastafari is, medicine for the entire earth, we know that the root, at the root is the Pan African connection. And that Pan African connection has to be watered, has to be strengthened. Anybody who's done gardening knows the importance of strengthening the roots of anything that's growing. So now that the Pan African iris is growing on the earth, we have a rekindling, uh, and there's no mistake why at this time of the Pan African iris rekindling that we have this diaspora war that's being pushed online, and I think the people who are fighting Pan African, the Pan African vibration, they'll go down in history as either agents. We'll find out things about them in due season, or they're just misinformed or naive or whatever. But this is a tide that cannot be stopped. And as Rastafari, we have an important voice to play. When it wasn't popular to lift up a Pan African, a vision of a united Africa, we were singing about it, we were championing it. You've heard I say so many times on this platform, most people on the African continent, the first time they hear about a united Africa is in a reggae song sung by a Rastafari creatives. And my African audience, let me know if it's foolishness I'm talking, because we have a big African audience. I don't always hear from the item in the comments. And let's do this for August. Let's try this for August. If you're from Africa, if you're watching from Africa for the entire month, anytime you watch the content, put a comment in the comment section and let us know where on earth you're watching from. What African country. I can see in the analytics that Africa is, our biggest demographic, but I don't always feel the item in the comments. So let us feel Pan African History Month, some African love in the comment section. Please and thank you. I'm asking that of the audience for this August Pan African History Month. And again, this platform, we're going to be one of the platforms that is fighting against this silly idea of a diaspora war, Africa against Black Americans, against people from the Caribbean, Black Caribbean people. We're all African. I don't care what you think. We may have come at different times. I also hold the knowledge that Africans were here already in North America. Every continent was seeded with Africans, depending on when we can debate. But before the slave trade, of course, Africans were all over the earth. We are the earth's people. We are the people of the earth. We are Homo sapien sapien. We are the people of the earth. So that's not, to me, something to be contested. However, um, all of those Africans that were here, their DNA has been washed with the waves of Africans that came from the continent during the transatlantic slave trade. So um, to separate you from the African continent if you're a black person in the West don't make no sense to I. But I'm not going to argue with anybody about that because everyone is free to have their own destiny. But I'm just letting the I them know that we are a Pan African platform and we're going to fight for that unification of the African continent. And this month, we're going to exemplify that by trying to have guests from all over the spectrum. Now, we're going to kick off the month. We have Tony Rebel interview coming Monday. We're going to kick off the month with Tony Rebel. Powerful reasoning. Um, that one was a great one. We have Yasa Safari. He has a big poetry festival coming up. So that's coming as well. We have some other guests. I'm not going to say their names until we knock it. So, but we're reaching out. We're using the network, the superpower, to bring in some big guests. And I want to hear from the item this month what the item want to see. We had a town hall meeting with the Lion Pride on Patreon, and they shared what they want to see. But now I'm opening it up to the wider Lion Pride for Pan African History Month. Just leave a comment in the comment section of any of the videos this month. Let us know what the item want to see so that we can um, try to, be an interactive platform. We can fulfill the needs of our audience. So big up everyone. I'm just coming from the Watermelon Day local festival with Baba Bomani. We've had him on the platform multiple times. Um, so that's why I'm not in my usual lion voice, uh, reading Ras attire. But I want to just give thanks to everyone who is making this channel the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the planet. We are growing, growing, growing. I want to big up, we just added someone else to our Ubuntu Lion Pride. I want to big up the brother right now um, for those that contribution. And if you want to be part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride, yes, Andrew Collins, big up Andrew Collins, who joined the Ubuntu Lion Pride. If you want to be part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride, it's a 100 one-time gift, and that's a lifetime. So that as long as this channel is going, you will be acknowledged as a Ubuntu Lion Pride. Um, let me show the item what I'm talking about. This is the Ubuntu Lion Pride. So all of these people, we started off at $50, and now we are going to, it's at $100. At some point, it probably be up to 1,000, might be $10,000, where it's not going to go down. This is a great honor, but we're acknowledging the people who have the vision to support us and to see the vision while we're still small, long before we hit 1 million subscribers and we become, a multi-million-dollar operation, which is coming. We're praying and we're working toward that. These Ubuntu Lion Pride have been people who have invested in us. So big up Andrew Collins. We're going to add your name to the Ubuntu Lion Pride, and you can send that through CashApp. Um, let me put up the information for those who want to support. And it really is a great strength. What I mean? It really is a great strength to know that the items see what we're doing and that we're supporting. I said, if you haven't seen our episode with the St. Croix family, we just had an episode yesterday with the St. Croix family. I said, I kind of feel a way that we have 46,000 subscribers and rising, and we only have 35 people in the Patreon. But I don't take it personal, because this is the same reason we don't have a Rastafari school, a Rastafari health center. Everyone is saying somebody else will do it in time, and we watch the people doing the work, and we love the work, and we congratulate them, but we don't invest to make sure that the work continues. So I'm asking my brethren and sisters who have the means, who are professionals especially, to support the platform. Come on board Patreon. It's Armageddon. And I want to take some time. It's Pan African History Month, yes. But we have some serious developments taking place internationally. We're closer to thermonuclear war than we've ever been. Nuclear subs being moved around, nuclear threats being given on social media, war escalating in Ukraine. We have preparation for war with Iran and Israel. We have border clashes in Thailand and Cambodia. These are all related proxy wars that are now starting to flare. I told the IDEM that there's a war, World War III, between the G7, the historically colonial powers, and the BRICS, the global South nations. And it's kicked off through proxy wars. I've been one of the brethren sounding the trumpet about the collapse of the global supply chain. It hasn't happened yet, give thanks, but it's coming, and we have to prepare. And so I really, if the item notice, we've been really pressing gas on the channel. We're starting to do more short form content. So please share them out. You probably have seen them come up in your feed, the little 1 minute shorts. We're going to be doing a lot more of those to get the word out about the platform, because we know the attention span is challenging. So look out for more shorts, and we're going to be, pressing gas, reaching out, trying to get the guests that the people that want to hear from, in addition to the people that you don't know. So you'll be seeing a lot of more bigger names on the platform. We're tapping in. We're at the level now where we can confidently reach out to people in the network, and it's worth their time coming on the platform. So you'll see a lot more. And that's one thing with I have the network, but I don't like to tap the network and you feel like you're doing me a favor. It should be a win-win scenario. So if I'm tapping someone and their brand is at a certain level, I want them to feel comfortable knowing that we've done our work to build the platform to a level that is, it makes sense for their brand as well. So we create that win-win. So you'll be seeing some names that you recognize on the platform. But our aim and objective, I felt bad because they had that big event in St. Croix with the Rastafari Day, and the brethren had invited I to come, but because of economics, I couldn't, because if I don't work, I don't get paid. So I couldn't take the time off to go down and to film. And at these monumental things that are happening around the world with Rastafari, I would love to be able to be full-time doing the Lion Voice Network and know that we have the resources to fly to these places with a camera crew and capture the thing properly. I think as Rastafari people, we deserve that kind of operation. But the caveat is that we have to fund it. Nobody cares about what we want to see. It's not profitable to most big brands. It's not something that the government is wanting to push. So if we want a world-class media operation, we have to fund it. And this is what I'm sounding the trumpet and appealing, not to the people who don't get what I'm doing or don't like what I'm doing or think I talk too much. I'm not even talking to those people because it don't make sense. I'm talking to the people who send me the messages congratulating. I see the work, give thanks, King, keep on going, keep on going. All we're asking is If you have challenges, start with $5. We prefer the $10 a month. We're trying to get 1,000 people at $10. If I get 1,000 people out of the 46,000, which is less than 1%, I can be full time comfortably and step up the thing so that, what I mean, it's world class. We have 35 now, so we're nowhere close to 1,000. But I know that there's 1,000 people out there watching the content because we're doing 30, 40,000 a month in views, unique viewers. So if I can get 1,000 of those people that watch this content to contribute, now we're a full-time Rastafari owned operation, moving around, covering events, and we would also have the ability to start to help to sponsor events, and we will vote on those events that we're going to support in the Lion Pride on Patreon. So I'm trying to create an ecosystem where those who contribute, we would reason at our town hall meetings and decide, okay, this month, this is what we're gonna. These are the options. This is what the capacity. This is what we're gonna cover, and then the Lion Pride on Patreon will vote on that, and we will go and execute. So it's a collective, you know what I mean? So I want people to be part of that collective and join us, because when the Armageddon start, the things that we care about, that we want covered, are not going to be covered by the mainstream media. They're not going to be covered by, even the Pan-African media. Give thanks to the Pan-African media, but how often do you see Rastafari covered on Pan-African media? So we require our own media, our own infrastructure, even though it's a Pan-African channel. Rastafari is important enough, is valuable enough that we require our own media. So I'm asking my global family, and I feel the love. I know the love. I don't question the love. All I'm saying is take action on the love and let us activate this platform so that we can go to that next level. And then we will promise in return that we'll hire Rastafari people. I would love to have an all Rastafari staff, and I can do it because I know the people who I can hire. I know the competent Rastafari people. That's the beauty of having the network. So we can literally create that operation, but I don't want to do it if it's dependent on sponsor money, because then they have too much say. I would rather be funded by the audience. I think that's the only way to be truly independent, is when your audience fund you, the small contributions coming up to a lot, and that emphasizes the principle of collective security. Reason we are reasoning, we just a reason with the item. Pan-African History Month. Because that would be history too, As we talk about Pan-African history, let's make some Pan-African history by having a self-funded, fully funded Rastafari platform, you know what I mean? I still have a full-time job, so I can't give the full 100 that I want to give to the platform. So if, we get it to that level where the item come in, then I can pivot. And again, I want to travel around Africa. I watch Woda Maya. If you don't know Woda Maya, check out Woda Maya. Big African content creator. I would love to be the Rastafari version of Woda Maya. Check out the Rast them in Namibia. What are they doing? Take a camera crew and go Namibia. What are the Rast them doing in Mozambique? In Gambia, Senegal. That is how I vision with the platform. That's why I would love to be full time and creating that content and that spark that's going to engage, because our prize is the African youth of today. The median age in Africa is 17 to 18 years old, depending on what statistics you look at. But these are teenagers, so 1.5 billion people that are there and that are being influenced by various media. We need our voice there, preaching that oneness of Africa, preaching that Pan-African irit, introducing the youth them to His Imperial Majesty, because it don't make sense. They trying to do things and don't understand that most of this has been done already. You know, a lot of what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso again has been done in Ethiopia by young Rastafari. So when we look at Ibrahim Traore and the World Bank, IMF statistics came out and show that Burkina Faso has had positive growth. So all of those, because a lot of people, you know, I hear a lot of detractors now saying that he's a Russian puppet, and I think this is a very naive um, thing to say. Why? You cannot be an independent nation right now and you don't have major allies from either the G7 or the BRICS. You have to choose a side. You know, you have people like India, like Turkey, that are trying to play both, but you see increasingly it's becoming different. Even India now drifting. I mean, India is one of the original BRICS, but India prides itself on being non-aligned. But America sending threats to India saying you can't buy Russian oil, and India's telling America, boy, if I have to choose a side, I have to go buy the Russian oil because I'm sovereign and things. So people have to choose a side. And Burkina Faso, a lot of people saying that they are Russian stooges. They don't know the story of Burkina Faso. If you've watched the interviews, Abraham Traore talks about when they were under French rule, you know, they had to borrow their weapons when they were going on anti-terrorism um, operations. They would borrow their weapons from neighboring countries and have to give their weapons back. So it was not a good situation. Um, France was really starving these youths from anything positive, you know. Um, so it is a serious thing. Let me see what's going on here. That's Natty Free Skater. Big up. And this is one of our members of the Lion Pride. Big up yourself, Natty Dread Free Skater. Every time. Big up Lion Pride on Patreon. Lep says, I was following the reason yesterday and I thought that Bubble Critic actually made some sharp historical points around the nuances with the complex idea of Pan Africanism. Yeah, he started off, I think he started off good. He started to drift into some things. I appreciate how you acknowledge all points of view, even if and when you may not fully agree or see eye to eye. It shows your authenticity, as many podcasters try to dictate rather than engage. Um, and a lot of them do that because they're not confident in their position. I like to be sharp, and I come from a school when I went to Howard University as a young Ras. We had the Nuwabians, which was Malachi Z. York. We had the Hebrew Israelites. We had all kind of different thought patterns, and we used to have all kind of debates. And so I love hearing alternate, you know, and I want to know where my weak points are. You know what I mean? I want someone to bring up things so I can go research and make sure that I'm sharp. I get nervous if I'm in an echo chamber, to be honest. I like a little fire, a little friction. And everyone in the Lion Pride that we're cultivating should seek out. You know, as long as it's good faith arguments that people are making, it's only going to make you a sharper person, a better person to hear views. And at the end of the day, the most powerful thing that you can do is agree to disagree. You know what I mean? And I love that. Agree. Because when you agree to disagree, a man don't have nothing to say, you know, because you just agree to disagree. And, you know, those people, we wait for them to produce what they produce from their school of thought. We're working on producing what we are going to produce from following His Majesty, Kadamawe Haile Selassie the First. And Haile Selassie the First has a track record. So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to follow in the footsteps of His Majesty. If somebody has something else that there's philosophy, we listen. And at the end of the day, again, the most powerful thing, and I want everyone to understand this who's watching, agree to disagree. That means I'm not trying to knock down or I'm not trying to discredit you. I just have a different view. Your view may be valid. I'm not there, and that's important because we got to build bridges, and we can't spend too much time with the petty differences. And these things sometimes we trying to convince. I'm not trying to convince anybody about Rastafari. I am completely fine if people accept Haile Selassie according to the documented historical record, because it's still glory, honor, and majesty, and we're still ready to dispel all of the propaganda that was there. I'm good with that. So we don't need to try to go back and forth with people. And I would caution all of the lion pride against going back and forth. It's a waste of time. We have other better things that we can do. If you're reasoning and you're sharpening, that I think is productive, because you never want to be in an echo chamber. It makes you weak. And I see a lot of podcasters, as they I say, that do that. That anytime someone comes on with a good point, they try to shut them down, and or they make fun of them or whatever. That's weak to I. You need to engage on the point that the person has said, and sometimes you have to adjust. I'm not afraid to be wrong. I've been corrected several times on this platform by guests, what I mean, who come with facts and sources and things, and I love it because I am the reading rat. So I want to sharpen myself and be sharper. So that is something that we are definitely trying to do. And as we grow, you're gonna see, we'll stage debates and different things. I have a lot of ideas I want to implement once we can get the channel stabilized, because the channel is still not stabilized. It's still a volunteer work. We are monetized. And another thing, I want to give thanks for the patience. I know you watch the videos and sometimes the ads pop up. That's part of the monetization. So we do make some money. We don't make a lot of money off of the ads, but we do make some nickels and pennies off of the ads. So big up the people who are patient and overstand. I'm not one of these rats that think money is evil and we don't want to make money and everything must be free to try to be righteous. That's a false concept. What I mean? Money shouldn't be the driving factor, but money is a tool. Just like if I'm building a house, I don't want to build a house necessarily with my bare hands. I'd love to have a hammer. I would love to have some tools to help me build a house. So money is the same way. Money is a tool, and we need it to scale and to do the things that we need to do. So I'm not one of those brethren who say money is evil. No, people, money, the love of money can be evil. You sell out for money. That can be evil. What I mean? You have no morals for money. That's evil. But money itself is just a tool. What I mean? And you have to have money to build the alternative to Babylon, which is what we are trying to do. But we are here, and this channel for Pan African History Month, we're bringing the high level Rastafari reasoning. I love listening to podcasts and reasoning, and when I came in the movement, that was what we were attracted to, was sitting at the feet of elders and hearing intellectual high level reasonings. And I feel like that's missing from Rastafari online presence. It still happens because I live that. I mean? I talk to my brethren and my sister and their high level reasoning, but when you go online, you're not seeing that. So we are interjecting ourselves into that space, and that's why we're launching more YouTube shorts. You're gonna see a lot of YouTube shorts. We're gonna go back in the archive and start chopping up. I said on the episode yesterday, I've been training my son on making clips. So we activating the family business. When you have children, that's free labor. You gotta utilize every nation. You go to the Asian man shop, you see their children working the cash register. We have to get forward to that as black people. Your children, they're sitting down playing video game. They're not doing nothing. Put them to work and they know it better. So we're going to be launching a TikTok account with the shorts, and you're going to see a lot more short form content from the platform, so we can boost up the algorithm. And we also have an Africa trip plan. I already have my ticket bought, so that's a must. So we're gonna be showing some footage from Africa. Looking forward to that. We'll have some exclusive interviews with brethren and sisters on the continent. Bring you the cutting edge of what's happening with the return, the great return, the repatriation that's taking place. So I'm excited about the future of the channel and what we're going. And we are again. We're going to be doing more theme months. So July is going to always be Lij Tafari month. August is going to be always Pan-African History Month, because we have to celebrate Marcus, we have to celebrate Empress Taito, we have to celebrate Emperor Menelik II. We have to acknowledge Crown Prince Zariakov, of course, born on August 17th. And there are other days. We have Emancipation Day in August and other prominent days in August as well. August 28th, the last time His Majesty was seen publicly. So we have a lot of significant dates in August. So we're going to have that kind of content. As I said, we're also going to be featuring a lot of, we're going to look for a lot of Pan-African Ethiopian elders to capture their stories, not just Rastafari, but as Rastafari, we are stewards of the Pan-African legacy. We're going to drop the full episode this strong of Prince Afsa Wilson Asarate. If you have not seen the clips of Prince Afsa Wilson, you are doing yourself a disservice. He is the grandson of the great Raskasa and the great grandson of Empress Menen. And his episode, we've dropped 2 clips already. We'll drop another clip Monday, and then the full episode sometime down the week. The full episode is already available for the Lion Pride on Patreon. So if you're in the Lion Pride on Patreon and you haven't seen it yet, you can go watch it through your Patreon account. But he has a part in there where he talks about the formation of the Organization of African Unity. That's going to be the clip for Monday, where he talks about how His Majesty went up to Kwame Nkrumah and to the head of the Monrovia group and appealed to them to do it for him, and how they wept, and you know what I mean. So when we talk about African unity coming because of His Majesty, and we hear these first-hand accounts in terms of how His Majesty made it happen, willed the Organization of African Unity to happen, it's no it makes sense why he was given the first chairmanship of the OAU and called the Father of Africa. We never call him that, are the Pan-African founders that call him the Father of Africa. So we're going to have that clip for Monday, and we're going to go more into the founding of the OAU, because a lot of people, we see the AU, a lot of people feel the AU has lost its way and want to return to the OAU. So, we have that reasoning this month. And also, I want to do a panel with Rastafari on the continent. You know what I mean? I've been working on it behind the scenes for a while, so hopefully we can pull that off this month with R&I family from the RCC, the Rastafari Continental Council, Daddy Bosco. You've seen him on this platform, but there are many others from different African countries. So we're going to try to make that happen. So there's a lot taking place, family, and we do give thanks for everyone who has joined us on this journey. Some of you have been with us since before we had 500 subscribers. We're nearing 50,000 subscribers, but again, we only have 35 monthly subscribers, so we can't sustain on that level. So I'm asking not those who can afford it, not those who don't have a bank account, not those who are not. I'm asking those who have a job, computer savvy, you can afford $5 or $10 a month. I'm asking the item to come off of the fence and come and support I and I. Um, you know what I mean? So hold on, Sister Janice. You said, I'm sorry, I do not think Africans should have a history month. Maybe you need to teach your people the black history in this country. Um, that can happen as well. I don't think it's a either or. Now I call, and this is not, we're doing this on this channel, so it's not wider Rastafari that's doing this. Is Lion Voice Network, and that's one of the reasons I love this network, because we can make unilateral decisions. And the reason that we're doing the Pan African History Month is because this month we have Menelik II's birthday, Emperor, Empress Titu's birthday, Marcus Garvey's birthday, Zariakov. These are major figures. Now, in terms of doing Black history in this country, I think that's a great idea. I'm not one of those who push diaspora wars, this and that. I have great admiration for the Black people of America who had to endure the tribulations. And actually, we just did a whole episode on Rastafari origins in America. Grover Redding, a lot of us didn't know about the first martyr for Rastafari, African American out of Chicago, gave his life in 1919 for Rastafari. Reverend Webb, we learned about also from Chicago, who said, "Look to the east for the coming of the universal Black King," and who hailed, looked at the ascension of Rastafari as the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. So we've done a lot of stuff about American history, and if you look at our episode also with Ras Lazarus from Gullah Geechee, we did a whole thing on the Gullah Geechee history. So we're equal opportunity. We're Pan-African to I mean that we celebrate all of our complexity and diversity as a people, wherever we're domiciled, whether it's Black American, whether it's South American, whether it's, that's the true spirit of the Pan-African ethos. So the month, designating months, because 365 days a year should be our history month. But designating the month from a business perspective, it just helps to focus the content and give people a theme that we can program around. So that's why we do it here. But I overstand. But yeah, man, we will always celebrate African history, Black American history, Caribbean history, Black people in Asia. When we get there, I met the great Renoko Rashidi, who talk about the Black presence in Asia, Black Philippines, Black China, all of these places, India with the Hindu Kush, all of them something there. So let me just be very, very clear. We are a platform that celebrates Blackness in all of its forms here. You cannot get us to divide. You know what I mean? You cannot get us to divide. Lep says, you see how Trump is leading the push back on African Black history, DEI, critical race theory, BLM, Africana studies in the academy. Yes, and I'm happy he's doing that. Why am I happy he's doing that? Because it's waking Black people up that we have to have our own. We're too comfortable. I mean, don't get me wrong, the government should, because we are an important part of this country. We pay taxes, all of that. I understand that. But the other part is that we need to have our own. I think Black people, we've become too complacent. We sold BET. Where's the Black network? If you look at the Latino community, they have their major networks. You look at all these other communities, they own their own major network. Where is our major network that is programming content that is serving our not just entertainment and videos and things like that, but that is servicing our strategic interests. We don't have it. So I'm and let me use better language because some people it's going to be triggered. I'm not happy that he's doing that, but I'm not surprised, and I think that it's par for the course in terms of um, how the Almighty wants us to look at things. You know, the comfortable season is over. We are going into Armageddon time, and we need to wake up. This is what I've been trying to tell my people: wake up, because if you think the government is going to save us, if you think, you know, we fund, I can't remember what we, you know, it's trillions of dollars black people put into this economy, and most of it is not spent on things that are edifying and healing to us. This is why I'm struggling to build a platform. If I was part of another community, I would be gone to the level of content that we are bringing forward. I would have been already have probably 3,000 people in my Patreon if I was a part of another community. But my community, because we carry that trauma, because we don't trust, because we, you know what I mean, we almost become apathetic to, I mean, that we just don't care. It's very difficult to build anything in our community. That's why we don't have a Rastafari school, Rastafari health center, Rastafari this, Rastafari that. You don't see it because we you know what I mean, we don't come to the table thinking like that we need to support and invest in ourselves. You know what I mean? Lep says, yeah, man, see, we need to organize before mobilization, social theory, lawfare, think tanks, R&D, economic co-ops, militias. You understand what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? This is the time now, you know, we're going to see who is who and what is what. It's real in the field, you know, every community. Trump is just looking out for his base and his community. Everyone is looking out for their own interests. Now, the question is black people, and that, again, this is why they're pushing this diaspora division, because they want to separate. Because if they separate the communities, they see what was happening once Afrobeats came in, you know, and I tell the story. I was at a function, and there was an African American family reunion going on. You know, working class black African American people at this function, and when they played the Afrobeat, the whole granny, everybody got up and was moving. You know what I mean? And I said, that's a problem. That's a problem for Babylon, because when the barriers start to fall, because music is always going to tell you what's going on with the people, because we're a spiritual people. We move by vibration. So when I saw that, and then when I start traveling to Ghana, and I see the plane full up with black Americans, because when I first used to go to Ghana, it was all white people or Asian people or different people. It was very few black people. I started going to Ghana in 2005, and the last time I went to Ghana, it was almost, you know, plane full up of Ghanaians and black Americans, and I said, no, this is a problem. And so said, so done. Diaspora war flare up, and you're seeing all of this division, because they know if black people come together, it's a problem. You know what I mean? So they're creating divide and rule is the only plan that they have. So I know that this is something that is very crucial for us, that wake up, because our and we're gonna be having a thing about global supply chain, and this is it. So um, Lep says ADOS and FBA is spooks using out traditional black nationalist models for mere confusion. And I am very suspicious of those two groups, because of the xenophobic rhetoric I've seen come out of some of that. But I do support when black Americans want to delineate and have pride in their culture. And I don't support when people from the Caribbean, Africa say that black Americans have no culture. I think that's foolishness. Black American culture is the strongest culture, black culture on the planet right now. You know what I mean? Most influential, let me say that. Because the core of black American culture is African culture. You know what I mean? The core of Caribbean culture is African culture. That's how I see it. But to say that black American don't have culture to me is foolishness. So I love when black American, and I went to Howard, so I'm biased. I went to a HBCU, so I saw the richness of black American culture, and I, did Africa diaspora. I know all of them things, you know what I mean? So I am one of them brethren that celebrate black American. Some of the best brethren them are black American brethren. So I don't support that, but the groups that you mentioned, yes, when you look at the rhetoric that they're pushing, because it's not an either or, you know what I mean? They're creating a false dichotomy. It's not you got to celebrate Black American culture, and if you celebrate Black American, you got to put down Pan African or your other African and Caribbean brothers and sisters. That's not how this thing works. Are there ignorant Africans and Caribbean? Of course, just like there are ignorant African Americans. We have ignorance across the board in all of our cultures, but we can't push that. You know what I mean? So that's something that we have to be very careful, And as Rastafari, we've always been that Pan African voice. So that's why we're pushing Pan African Month. Sister Naomi, blessing, my sister. Blessed love. I agree that a Pan African Month is essential to resist the integrationism agenda of this present democracies. Pan Africanism is the only solution, love and respect. I think so. I try not to use the ism on the end, but I think so. Pan African philosophy is the liberation philosophy. That's why they fight it so much. That's if you check every other philosophy, the one that they fight the most and with military and all propaganda is Pan African. That's the one that has the most success historically, and that's the one that's the biggest threat to them. The one thing when I knew that the AES, the Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso were serious is when they established a bank, and they started taking loan, to take loans for themselves, and they turned down IMF and World Bank. That's Pan African levity right there, you know what I mean, in action. So the Pan African spirit where, we come together with our brothers and sisters is the most powerful ideology on the planet, you know what I mean? Let exactly me too, but some palava, Congaso mixo thing with the new Black Panther and other black nationalist offshoots. Yeah, there's a lot of mix up that's gonna happen. Again, they're trying to destabilize what's happening. Blessed love to the entire Line Voice, real prison talk with Tommy. Big up Coach Tommy, the latest addition to the Lion Pride on Patreon. Big up yourself. You know, we're building our little community, and we're gonna do powerful things in our Lion Pride on Patreon. I'm not gonna stay much longer because it's a Saturday, and we try to keep these shorter. But I wanted to touch base just to let the item know why we decided to call August Pan African History Month. We are fighting back against the division, and we're going to celebrate all the beauty of our melanated people, our black people around the world. And, we have many allies around the world, that support the Pan African vibration. Coach Tommy is one of them. The brethren is of European descent, but he love Rastafari. He's learning, and we have so many, Japanese, Chinese, and we welcome them all here on this platform. But we are about the Black Pan African root. I've made a conscious decision because that is not being fed. You know what I mean? If I saw a lot of platforms that were doing it, then I'd be more universal. Because my network is not just black people. I grew up in Toronto. I have brethren who are Italian. I have brethren who are Chinese who live in Shanghai. I have brethren all over the place that I grew up with from third grade. I'm not talking about people that I don't know. I'm talking about people I grew up with. You know what I mean? So I'm an international brethren, but I see that we need that blackness, that Pan African voice is missing. And so I'm here to fill that lane and make sure that lane is occupied from a Rastafari perspective. And I have white Rastafari brethren in our Patreon, and my hope is that we're going to help them to launch out their platforms to mobilize white Rastafari, and that others will come, because that's how we now connect the ecosystems and we spread out that power. You know, everyone is in their lane and we cross pollinate. You know what I mean? We cross pollinate and thing, because I wouldn't mind supporting a platform like that. You know what I mean? Because I love Rastafari. But everybody have their lane, and I think that's how we make a strong, united front. Um, Lep said, but our scholars must acknowledge the complex history around Pan Africanism and how the idea can be hijacked for various purposes. Look how some of the African countries use it for pure tourism. And Lep, I'm a little different because I was in Ghana from prior. I think black tourism is good, because guess what happened? The black dollar is being spent in a black country. Are we more happy with black people going to Paris and Milan and that money being spent there? Or are we, Benin right now is making a play. They just had Sierra get her citizenship, and they're reaching out. They had Lauren Hill over there. They reached out to Earn Your Leisure, and they're making a big push. Senegal is doing the same thing. All of these West African countries now, because of the example of Ghana with the year of return, are realizing that the black dollar is a powerful dollar, and they weren't getting that tourism before, because most of the people who go to these places just go as business people or to exploit. So black people returning home as tourists, I love it, because once they touch the soil, all kind of things happen. They return, they start businesses, they invest, you know what I mean? So I don't mind the tourism, because it's a low, it's not committed. People are already traveling. So I think it's a great thing. But I do agree that Pan-Africanism has complex historical roots, and we had a lot of infiltrators and destabilizers and things like that. So I agree on that point. But the black tourism, I think, is a good thing, and we want to see that increase more to I. You know what I mean? Real Prison Talk with Tommy said black liberation and a stabilized African economy will help stabilize the world economy and bring the world one step closer to world unity. Coach Tommy gets it. You know what I mean? That's Lion Pride on Patreon, though. He understand where we're coming from. Tourism is good, but prolificity is not the same as authenticity and sincerity. Um, we could say that, yeah. But I think most of the people returning home are authentic. They want to have that connection. Now, gentrification is real, black gentrification, and driving up the prices, and these things have to be addressed. I'm not saying it's not without its issues and problems. I'm not a happy-go-lucky person, but the fact that people are going, to me, is powerful and prophetic, because that's how it starts. That to me is part of the prophecy fulfilling. When I see so many black people returning, when I see so many black people now not afraid. Remember, a long time we were afraid to go to Africa. Black people were afraid. They would boast about going to Paris and Italy and France and this and that. Now, if you haven't been to Accra, you look like you don't know what you do. All of the haymakers. He said the problem is with the gimmick, and what I mean, people do things, but guess what? Mosa is in control. Ras Kwasi, with a black wife and child, I must stand for the upliftment of Pan-African community, a community that has given me so much love. You know what I mean? Like we said, we give thanks for the support, and You know what I mean? Ayman is here to strengthen the root of Pan African, you know what I mean, um, history. The people's sentiment is authentic, but the use of a facade of Pan Africanism without the actual unity. But again, my brethren, you know, I hope you're a subscriber. Let me know, because the first time I'm seeing them, but I like their reasoning. Um, the Remember that even though it's not authentic, you cannot control once the people come. You know, you can't control what the Most High have in store. So yes, the year of return was, you know, because I know the people who were part of the year of return, the initial. I know some of the people, so I know where it had come from, and it was bigger than they could imagine. But why? Because this is something that is prophetic that was ready for bust out. And yes, people are trying to make money off of Black Americans and Black people from the Caribbean and Black people from the UK. That's human nature. But again, in the midst of all of that, trying to make money, they have unleashed a tide that cannot be stayed. You know, the return, the reverse brain drain, you know, because now all of these people returning to West Africa, you have a lot of West African professionals who are in the West doing well are saying all these people going back, and you know, so now those people are starting to go back. They're starting to invest. It's a you know, a landslide effect. So no matter what the intention of those who are don't mean us well, opening the gate, I think overall has been a great thing. Many expats return home from returning home, and that's because they don't plan, you know. And Marcus Garvey said repatriation is not for everyone, but the key is that they went, they're there, and a lot of them are gonna return. Maybe Ghana's not the place for everybody, you know. Ghana is very expensive now, but the fact that you bust that seal and you touch the African continent, to me is very significant, and we have a lot. So there you have it, family. Pan African History Month, August. We are doing it. We have 17 people on here live. Big up on yourself. Give thanks. I didn't do any promotion today. We just came on, so give thanks. We try to go live every Saturday, so join us. We're going to be doing big things with the channel. Again, I'm appealing to my brothers and sisters, get involved with the channel. You know what I mean? $5 a month for the price of a cup of coffee. $10 a month, you can become part of our Lion Pride. We need the strength. I'm trying to pivot from the law into the media full time, you know what I mean? And to do that, we're using the crowdfunding platform. And because again, sponsorship model, or even YouTube is, you know, depending on YouTube revenue, you're vulnerable because YouTube shut you off, you're gone. When we're crowdfunded, even if YouTube cut us off, we can shift to another platform and still keep it moving. The August newsletter is coming out, so make sure we have your email address. You can join as a free member on Patreon. So if you don't have the resources, I'm not saying anything negative. We love you same way just as much as the people who are giving their financial strength. It's just that we need that financial strength to stabilize, and then we want to be able to hire staff. Our vision is to build a studio on the continent. I'm located currently in Washington, D.C. The item see what's happening in D.C. It's not the best place to be based on what's happening geopolitically. So we're trying to accelerate our exodus from this space so we can do what we have to do. You know what I mean? Again, big up our latest member of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. Let me big up the brethren again. Andrew Collins, big up yourself, Andrew Collins. Latest member of the Ubuntu Lion Pride is now $100 to become a part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. That's a one-time payment, and you're there. That means in 2090, you will be part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride, they will see the whole fullness there. So join the Ubuntu Lion Pride. I'm going to keep it at 100 till probably about coronation, and then it's going to raise again to probably 150 or maybe $200. So get in while it's still affordable. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So we're about to press gas for the last half of the year. We have, again, a lot coming. Stay tuned for our Tony Rebel exclusive Reasoning Monday, Prince Afsa Wilson exclusive full episode coming shortly. More YouTube shorts, more in-depth reasoning, more high-level Rastafari and Pan-African reasoning here on the Lion Voice Network. We're doing our best to fill the gap, to bring the unity, to dash down and kick down the separation that separates us, to be that light. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion Voice.
Yeah, now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial I represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Have the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
The time has come for lions to tell our own story. Yes, you're listening to Lion's Voice. I is Dejazmatch hailing from the island of St. Croix. Yeah, I'm bringing to you Rastafari vibes. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Babylon born when Rasta come together. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Because Babylon done when I and I come together. Look how we live together, look how we work together, oh, Babylon done when Rasta come together. Haile, Rastafari, His Majesty and Empress Men in Bless. Yeah man, hailing from St. Croix, Rastafari, I hear you. Aye.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Rastafari.
Alright, listen to me now, people. The lion roar, no dog bark. See? The lion's voice with Kwasi Bonsu. Time right now for the lion to tell his story. See? Listen up.
Haile.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it, I jolly for say that.
Greetings, this is Haile. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Haile said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.